When Horizon Zero Dawn released in 2017, it became one of the best acclaimed games in modern times. Produced by Guerrilla Games, who were previously known for the first-person shooter series Killzone, they would gain greater success with the development of this third-person action-adventure. Now spoken within the same sentence as the likes of 2018's God of War, Uncharted 4, or Marvel's Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn has become one of the juggernauts of the PS4 era and has gained major steam within the Sony brand. Hey guys, how's it going? Lap here. Today I'll be taking a look at Horizon Zero Dawn. As usual, I'll be taking a brief look on its production, story, characters, gameplay, and design. My takes tend to avoid spoilers for the chance you haven't played the game. I do, however, delve into certain characters and general plot points, meaning some minor topics and subjects will be addressed. As always, the running soundtrack for this video are my acoustic arrangement of the game's music. I release individual covers and look at both modern and retro games on this channel, so do subscribe to keep up the releases or to check out my other content. So pack your quiver, set some traps, and let's take down some killer machines. See, I have a weird relationship with Horizon Zero Dawn. When I first played it, although I thoroughly enjoyed it, I wasn't blown away by it. This was partly due to the two previous games I played, being God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2, both considered game of the generation. So for this episode, I decided to play through Horizon Zero Dawn for the second time. But how does it fare compared to my first time? Would I find greater appreciation for the game now? Let's start at the beginning. Before I begin, I want to thank the Squishy Stream for providing me Killzone 2 as my backdrop and to keep my head nice and warm. Do go support them, they stream on Twitch regularly and are just wonderful, wonderful people. Link below in the description. The production plans for Horizon Zero Dawn started in 2011, with the basis outline pitched by art director young Bart van Beck the year prior. He showcased a clip consistent of a nature-dense world filled with human tribes and animal-like machines. The pitch was one of many and was eventually picked up by the team as they wanted to work on a world that could be explored and filled with natural beauty. At the same time, it was also a concept game director Matthijs de Jonge described being the most risky. Horizon Zero Dawn was a learning curve for Guerrilla Games. Even though they had the fundamentals down, they weren't really sure how to implement this within the narrative or gameplay. It would take them around 2 years to get the structure down. Being used to developing first-person shooters, the shift to a third-person action-adventure was difficult. Using the same game engine as the Killzone series, a lot of the game elements did not translate with the open world approach. This led to additional assistance from personnels from other well-known game developers such as Bethesda and CD Projekt Red lending a hand. Many plotlines were discussed during the planning stage, however the foundations were decided very early on and that the game would centre around a female lead named Aloy. Guerrilla Games wanted to avoid over-feminized features. Aloy's design was to be grounded to her environment, and she will have a headstrong demeanour to match the wild surroundings. The idea of having a female protagonist was contentious. Being a PlayStation exclusive, Sony was originally hesitant as they thought it would not market well. Apprehensive, Sony ran focus testing. The reaction was positive. Gamers were keen on the conception, highlighting a dumb and dated stigma on Sony's end, considering the platform's previous history with successful female leads such as Ellie from The Last of Us or Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. The game is set in the 31st century, where humans are no longer the dominant species due to an unknown collapse to the past human civilization, now referred as the Old Ones. The world has subverted back to nature, with humans having formed into tribal colonies filled with superstitious belief and limited knowledge on technology. Remnants of the Old Ones has remained, with decaying buildings and old bases known as ancient ruins scattered throughout. This world is also surrounded by animal-type machines. It's unclear how they came to be, but humankind has been able to coexist with them for years. However, a newly mysterious derangement has caused these machines to act aggressively towards humans, with larger and hostile types starting to appear. We take control of Aloy, the main protagonist of the game. She was cast out by the Nora tribe at birth. Aloy is raised by another outcast, Ross, who acts as her mentor and father figure. At a young age, after falling into an ancient ruin, Aloy was able to obtain a focus, a device that shows her advanced insight on her surroundings. This gives her a higher understanding to the lost technology and a perspective on how the machines functions. Due to being outcasts, the tribe are not permitted to interact with them. Embittered by the way they're treated and not knowing why, Aloy would train until adulthood to compete in the Proving. By winning the Proving, Aloy would be accepted into the tribe and get much wanted answers regarding her birth. However, during the competition, the Noras were attacked. This led to Aloy being appointed Seeker, which enables her to roam the land to find the culprits and to seek answers. You'll meet many support characters on your journey, including Teersa, one of the High Matriarchs of the Nora tribe. She has always been kind to Aloy, offering her support and compassion even when it was not permitted to do so. Eren is from the Osiran tribe. He befriends Aloy early on. His act before thinking attitude makes him a bit of a comic relief. However, he is extremely loyal and honourable towards his friends. Although there are many support characters, all of them feels underdeveloped. With a few exceptions, majority of the characters want given backstories or extensive roles for the player to really invest in, making them forgettable. Horizon Zero Dawn is a third-person action-adventure game set in an open world with RPG elements and progression. As an open world, the purpose is to explore, giving the player freedom from the get-go to traverse the land for a sense of adventure and discovery. The world is filled with dangerous machines and bandits. You'll have a bow as your main weapon to combat against these foes. However, as you progress, you'll acquire other weapons into your arsenal. Personal favourites include the Ropecaster, which can be used to hold down machines, and the Tear Blaster, which fire compressed air that will strip away armour and parts off machines. As there are numerous machines and human enemies roaming the land, you have many combat options from stealth takedowns, close spear melees, setting traps and explosive, to even using their own weapons against them. Hiding in tall grass will conceal Aloy from your enemies, allowing the player to lure the enemies into traps, strike a silent hit, or set a diversion for a getaway. Machines could also be overridden. Depending on the machines, they could either be used for faster traversals or for support during combat. Aloy's focus will be essential. It is used to locate enemies' positions, highlighting their levels and weaknesses. It also identifies other lifeforms, points of interest, collectibles, and loot. RPG element and progression is rooted into the leveling system, with completed quests and defeated enemies giving out experience points as well as skill points. These could be used on a skill tree to unlock additional abilities. There are a variety of outfits to choose from, all having advantages and vocal factors, giving the player the option to cater to their playstyle. Modifications are boost items that can be equipped onto weapons and outfits to increase stats and perks. The game uses a loot and craft system. Loot can be located throughout or from defeated enemies. Loot is a necessity as the resources used to craft ammos, medicine, traps, potions, and equipment upgrades. The game deals with the mystery of what is the cause of this post-apocalyptic world, what happened to the previous human civilization, and how did it become dominated by machine creatures. All this enigma is channeled through the actions of Aloy, an individual that was seasoned from years of isolation, training, and preservation, creating a badass lone wolf persona built with utmost confidence and sassy comebacks. One of the drawing factors of Horizon Zero Dawn is the plethora of side activities within the game. The multitude of side quests and errands will lead you to further secrets hidden within the world and introduces you to many additional characters, some impacting the main storyline. Other activities include clearing out bandit camps or corruption zones, which offer a large amount of experience points and valuable loot. Hacking a Tornek will benefit the player by unfogging large areas of the map. Finding cauldrons and reaching the core will allow Aloy to override different types of machines, eventually leading to larger and deadlier ones. But the activity that has the most repetition value are the hunting grounds. Each one of these offer free trials with time brackets for 3 ranks: Half Sun, Full Sun, and Blazing Sun. The faster the player can complete them, the higher the rank. Earning higher rankings on categories will result in powerful weapons and reward boxes. Although replayable, some of these are extremely frustrating, especially when you're trying to get Blazing Suns for all of the trials. Your patience will be tested, especially when you're off by a few seconds. As it is an open world, collectibles are everywhere. These could be data points which are media data left by the old ones, vantage points which follows the life of an old one journaled through a series of photos and audio files. You'll also find ancient debris such as metal flowers or ancient vessels, which can be traded to certain merchants for valuable rewards. As mentioned before, the main focus of the game was to explore. Guerrilla Games wanted to design a photorealistic world with day, night and weather cycles with diverse terrains. The concept of free flow was a priority. The team wanted to give the player the option to roam, swim, climb the vast environments with limited restrictions. Wanting a contrast from the constricted colour palette of Killzone, the emphasis on natural beauty and vibrant colour was key. Each area offered different conditions, from our starting area of woodlands and rocky paths to high snowy mountain peaks up north, to the barren and dry deserts out west, to the lake-filled jungles down south. As the game is based in a post-apocalyptic world, experts were brought in to give a realistic take on decaying buildings and objects. They also gave insight on the aesthetics of the tribes. For example, due to superstition and fear of technology, the Nora tribe has basic and rural huts and work tools. Meanwhile, by accepting this technology, the Carja tribe has flourished, having a metropolis-like foundation filled with grand buildings, bazaars, and even elevators. Motion capture and performance was used for authentic character models. However, depending on the individuals, these could be divided into multiple roles. Aloy's character was based around 3 people. Her motion capture was performed by Amanda Peary, but her voice model was of Dutch actress Hannah Hoostra, and her quick-witted voiceover was brought to life through Ashley Birch. Although the game is highly detailed with lifelike environments and character models, the game does have a multitude of glitches. Stuttering texture and model pops are common. Flashes of T-pose or model shuffles can be seen during gameplay, dialogue scenes, and cutscenes. However, the most noticeable are voiceovers being out of sync from lip movement, with some facial motions looking extremely off. I originally noticed this on the PS4, but now playing on the PS5 and seeing instances while slowing down certain scenes, it is apparent it's not hardware related, but a lack of polish on the design's end. Also, be prepared to get lost in purple and grey derelict buildings. A lot. The soundtrack for Horizon Zero Dawn was composed through multiple artists. The composers were tasked to create music based on 3 themes: nature, tribes, and machines. For nature, they emphasised on ambience using held chords, creating space and intimacy for world exploration. The tribe themes were to reflect on their primal or limited advancements, so music was simple or based around percussive or vocal harmonies. For the machines, heavy use of electronics, synths, and metallic sounding dissonance were used to display a foreboding interaction. Guerrilla Games tasked the composers to use small ensembles or solo tracks instead of larger orchestras, as they wanted to create a sense of intimacy and roughness to give the element of primal. A lot of the music are repeated themes and motifs, or variations of it were used. For example, Aloy's theme. This is used throughout to highlight Aloy's personality and importance within different scenarios and stages. Themes is a driving factor in the game. A good case is the track The Hand of Sun and Jules. This motif is lively and frantic, which best depicts the Carja tribal atmosphere and bustling lifestyle. The music plays with different approaches depending on the theme. Some tracks are percussive heavy, while some are layered with electronic drones or string legatos, as a piercing flute or held vocal note adds to the ambience or builds tension. This was slightly limiting for me. A lot of the music was mainly percussion, or held electronic synth chords, or atonal clashes. It simply did not translate well on acoustic guitar, making my choices modest. However, even so, there were many melodic pieces within the soundtrack. During my research, I was often blown away by stunning solo pieces or by the ever-shifting progressions filled with captivating melodic leads, often asking myself, so how am I going to interpret this and justify the beauty? The world of Horizon Zero Dawn is breathtaking. Graphically, the visual is absolutely stunning, with photorealistic world designs and fluid motion capture. Aloy is by far one of the coolest characters in modern gaming and should be praised for pushing boundaries and highlighting that you can be a badass regardless of your gender. Guerrilla Games made wonder, especially considering this was a learning curve for them. To create this impressive post-apocalyptic world shrouded in ambiguity, fusing it with abundance of activities and a deep combat mechanic, is incredible. Horizon Zero Dawn is a brilliant game, but sadly with flaws. With the exception of Aloy, no one really stands out. Yes, they do have flashes of brilliance, but they all feel underdeveloped, if not unremarkable. The extensive amount of texture issue in gameplay and cutscenes is a distraction. Voiceovers being completely out of sync hinders the immersion. The narrative has pacing issues, not that it's bad in any means, it has a great story, but a large chunk of it was just not captivating and was driven solely by the strong gameplay. So, in conclusion, after my second playthrough, my stance hasn't changed. The game is a bundle of joy packed with endless features to explore, but the narrative pacing, underutilized characters outside of Aloy, and slip in visual polish curbs my appreciation for the game. Horizon Zero Dawn is nevertheless a fantastic game. I would highly recommend it and you will have a great time. Thank you for watching that episode of A Look At. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. Each video takes a lot of time researching and arranging, so please do give this video a like and share. Do give this channel a subscribe, little things like this help my channel grow and let me continue working on these videos. Leave any comments and suggestions below, tell me if you like it or not. If you dislike it, let me know why, so I'll try to fix it for future releases. Thank you again, and until next time, take care.